Congratulations. Yes, you heard that right. This is not a coincidence. If you've clicked on this video, it means you've been handpicked by God to receive a divine message that will completely flip your financial situation upside down. God has seen your struggles, your sleepless nights, and the worry that's been consuming you, and now, finally, He's ready to move in ways you can't even imagine. Imagine checking your bank balance in the next 24 hours and seeing a miracle unfold right before your eyes. I know it sounds too good to be true, but God works in mysterious ways, and today is the day that everything changes for you. But here's the shocking part. This blessing isn't for everyone. It's only for the ones who believe, the ones who are ready to receive what God has been preparing all along. You've been chosen to receive a financial blessing that could completely transform your life. But there's a catch. You need to stay with me until the end of this video to unlock this life-changing miracle. God's hand is already at work, and if you miss this moment, you might miss out on the financial breakthrough you've been praying for. Still skeptical? Let me tell you something. Many people are going to watch this and think, this can't be real. But those who stay, those who truly believe, are the ones who will witness their bank account miraculously transform in ways they never thought possible. This isn't just another video. This is a divine intervention specifically designed for you. So what will you do? Will you take that step of faith, or will you walk away from the blessing that God has in store for you? Keep watching, because the next few minutes could change everything for you. Today is no ordinary day. It's a divine day of transformation. There's something unique in the air, a powerful shift, a day where God has specifically chosen to pour out His blessings upon you. Financial worries? Stress from daily burdens? They're about to be lifted. God's plan is not random, it's intentional, and today marks the beginning of a new chapter. It's as if God has seen the struggles, the sleepless nights, the worry about money, and decided, enough is enough. Imagine waking up and knowing that divine intervention is working behind the scenes to handle your financial burdens. Today is the day when God says, "Let me take over." He is preparing miracles, not just any blessing, but financial blessings that will astonish you. The weight of debt, the pressure of bills, it's all being prepared to dissolve. This day was chosen for you to receive a financial breakthrough. But here's the catch. God moves in ways we cannot see or predict. You might think you're stuck, but today's intervention can be that unexpected job offer, a sudden financial miracle, or even the disappearance of debt. These blessings are ready to transform your life, and they're closer than you think. The question is, are you ready to believe it? It's easy to fall into doubt when financial stress feels endless, but faith has the power to turn that around. Think of all the times you've been on the edge, where it seemed like nothing would work out financially. Yet somehow, here you are still standing. That's no coincidence. God's blessings have been guarding you, even when you didn't see them. Today, however, is different. Today, the blessings are not just silent protectors, they are active agents of change. This is the moment to open your heart and receive. Every step you've taken has led you to this day. The trials, the struggles with money, they weren't for nothing. They were preparing you to understand the magnitude of God's miracles. Think of it as an investment. Those sleepless nights were the seed, and today, you reap the harvest. The financial blessings are not just coming, they're already here, waiting for you to claim them. This is God's promise. Your financial struggles are not permanent. When God chooses to intervene, nothing can stand in His way. Not debts, not stress, not fear. His timing is perfect, even when ours isn't. The divine day of transformation means that the shift starts within you, believing that today is the day those financial worries lose their grip. It's like a lock being opened, and the key is your faith. All you need to do is trust that God's financial blessings are on their way. Now, what can you do in response? Take a moment to reflect. Have you been overwhelmed by worry about your financial situation? Let that go today. Give it over to God, and watch how quickly your mindset shifts. Gratitude is the first step. Instead of worrying about the bills, start thanking God for the miracles that are already unfolding. It may sound simple, but this is how divine intervention works, by aligning your mind and spirit with faith. Practical steps help too. Start by writing down all the things you're thankful for today, even the smallest financial blessings. Maybe a bill was lower than expected, or you found money you forgot about. These small signs are proof that God's hands are already at work in your life. And if you're still not convinced, watch how today unfolds. Doors you didn't even know existed will open. Today is a turning point. Think of it as the day your financial life gets realigned with God's will. You might be wondering how this transformation will happen. The truth is, God works in mysterious ways. But what if the miracle you're looking for is already in motion? What if the only thing missing is your belief that today really is different? Hold on to that thought as you go through your day. It's important to remember that divine intervention doesn't always look the way we expect. Sometimes, it's a call from an old friend who offers unexpected help, or a sudden realization that brings financial clarity. The key is to remain open, to see the signs. God's blessings are not just for others, they're for you too, and today, they are ready to flow into your life. All you have to do is be willing to receive. Now you might ask, why today? Why not tomorrow or next week? Because today, your faith and God's timing align perfectly. There's a reason you're hearing this message right now. It's because today, the doors of financial blessings are wide open. But they won't stay open forever. So take action. Trust that today, God's hand is guiding you toward financial freedom. As you reflect on this, remember that today is about more than just money. It's about aligning with God's purpose for your life. Financial blessings are part of the bigger plan, a plan where peace, joy, and abundance replace worry and stress. You are not meant to struggle forever. Today, God is asking you to trust Him and step into a new reality, one filled with financial miracles and blessings beyond measure. God's love is like a warm embrace that never fades, no matter how tough life gets. Even when we feel lost or burdened, His plan is still unfolding perfectly for each of us. It's easy to think that in moments of struggle, we're forgotten, but God's love is not conditional, it's always present. Financial hardships, emotional stress, none of these are too big for God's plan. They are simply stepping stones to something greater. And the best part? God's plan is tailor-made for each individual. Imagine life as a puzzle. Sometimes, we're frustrated because a piece doesn't fit, and we think the whole picture is ruined. But God sees the entire image. Even when the financial piece feels like it's missing, He's working to place it in just the right spot. His love doesn't waver based on our circumstances. Whether we have much or little, His plan is always in motion, designed to bring us closer to the blessings He has prepared, blessings that often come in the form of financial miracles. Challenges are part of that plan. It's like being refined in a fire. The heat is intense, uncomfortable, but it's necessary to bring out the purest version of us. That's how God's love works. He doesn't allow struggles to crush us. He uses them to mold us into something better. If you're facing financial difficulties, know that it's part of the process. God's love means He doesn't abandon us in tough times. He strengthens us through them, preparing us for the financial blessings ahead. We've all been in situations where we felt like giving up, especially when money was tight. But think about those times. Did you not come out stronger? That's no accident. God's love and His plan are intricately connected. When we feel the pressure, He's inviting us to lean into His strength. The financial struggles you face now, they're not permanent. They're the groundwork for future blessings, the kind you can't even imagine right now. Many people wonder, why is this happening to me? The answer lies in trusting God's timing. His love is guiding you, even when it seems like nothing is going right. Financial crises are often a test of faith, a way for God to show just how much He can provide. Remember, His plan is not about keeping you in a state of lack. It's about showing you that through faith, you can receive blessings beyond what you've asked for. His love is a guarantee that the financial breakthrough is on its way. God's plan is full of surprises, and it often doesn't look the way we expect. You might think that financial stability comes from working harder, but sometimes it comes from trusting more. That doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you act with the belief that God's love is already working in your favor. Picture this: you're walking through life, and every step you take is guided by an invisible hand that knows the way to financial freedom. We've all heard stories of people who were at the end of their rope, ready to give up, when suddenly, everything turned around. That's not coincidence. That's God's love and plan in action. Maybe they received an unexpected check, a job opportunity, or even a random act of kindness that solved their problem. These are financial miracles, small glimpses of how God's love operates in our lives. What if you are next in line for such a blessing? God's plan is not just about survival. It's about thriving. He doesn't want us to scrape by with just enough. He wants us to experience the fullness of life, which includes financial peace. But that peace comes when we understand that God's love is behind every challenge, every hardship, molding us into people who can handle the blessings that are coming. Your current financial worries? They're temporary. God's love and His plan are eternal. A big part of God's plan is teaching us to trust Him fully. And that's hard when our bank accounts don't match our expectations. But what if the lesson is to trust that He will provide in ways we can't see? What if the financial miracles we seek are waiting just beyond our next step of faith? God's love means He's already prepared the solution, even if we can't see it yet. It's there, like a hidden treasure, waiting for us to discover. Trusting in God's love doesn't mean there won't be struggles, but it does mean those struggles have purpose. The financial hardships you're going through are preparing you for something greater. Maybe it's learning how to manage wealth wisely, or maybe it's developing the resilience needed to appreciate the blessings when they come. Either way, God's love is the foundation that makes all of this possible. As we embrace this understanding, we're reminded that today's difficulties are part of a much bigger picture. Financial struggles, emotional pain, they're all shaping us into the people we're meant to be. God's love is the constant, the guiding light that leads us through the darkest times. And His plan? It's far better than anything we could dream up on our own. Just as God has a plan for each person's spiritual growth, He also has a plan for our financial well-being. It's not by chance that you're facing what you're facing. Everything is part of a divine strategy to bring you closer to financial freedom. It might take time, but God's love ensures that the end result is worth every struggle. So the next time you worry about money, remember, God's plan is still unfolding, and His love is still guiding you. When facing a financial crisis, it can feel like the world is crumbling beneath your feet. Every bill that arrives, every expense that you weren't expecting, can weigh on you like a heavy burden. But this is exactly where faith comes in. Faith is not just about believing when things are good. It's about trusting in God when everything seems to be falling apart. The reality is, we've all faced moments where our finances felt like they were in freefall. But those who keep faith strong will tell you, God always provides a way out, often in ways you couldn't foresee. Picture this: a family on the verge of losing their home, debts piling up with no clear solution in sight. They prayed, held on to their faith, and suddenly, a financial miracle came through in the form of an unexpected payment or a solution they never imagined. These aren't just stories from the Bible. They happen today, every day, to people who hold firm to their belief that God's blessings are real. And yes, financial blessings can and do happen when we least expect them. You may be dealing with debts right now, thinking there's no way out. But let me tell you, God doesn't just see your debts. He sees the path to freedom from them. The hardest part is often waiting, especially when creditors are calling and bills are overdue. But faith is a shield, a source of strength that keeps you grounded even in the worst financial storms. It's about trusting that God's timing is perfect, even when your situation feels anything but. Many people have been in your shoes, overwhelmed by debt and financial stress, but the key to overcoming these challenges is in how you respond. Faith is a choice, and sometimes, it's the only choice you can make when nothing else seems to be working. You could sit and worry, or you could stand up and say, God, I trust you. I believe in your financial miracles. That declaration of faith opens doors that would otherwise stay shut. Now, this doesn't mean faith replaces action. Faith works in harmony with wise decisions. If you're deep in debt, take practical steps, budgeting, negotiating with creditors, and seeking professional advice. But don't do it alone. Ask God for guidance with each decision. Many have found that when they invite God into their financial decisions, they find clarity, peace, and even unexpected financial help. Whether it's a lower interest rate or a repayment plan, these are signs of God's hand moving in your situation. One story that comes to mind is of a man who lost his job unexpectedly. Bills piled up, and within a few months, he found himself buried in debt. He prayed daily, asking for direction, but the answers didn't come immediately. Instead of giving up, he used his faith as his anchor, trusting that God would lead him out of this financial mess. Sure enough, an opportunity came his way, an offer for a job he never would have considered before. That job not only helped him pay off his debt, but opened doors to financial blessings he never imagined. We all want quick fixes when it comes to money, but God's process often takes time. Financial crises are moments where we can either grow in faith or give in to fear. Choosing faith means looking beyond the immediate problem and trusting that God's plan for financial freedom is already in motion. The debts, the bills, they're temporary. But your faith? That's eternal. And God rewards faithfulness, especially in the face of financial adversity. In moments of crisis, it's easy to feel isolated, like no one understands what you're going through. But remember, financial struggles are part of almost everyone's journey at some point. Even some of the wealthiest people you know have faced moments where they had nothing. The difference is in how they handled it. Those who turned to God, who leaned on their faith, found that God provided not just financial help, but peace of mind. Peace in the middle of a financial crisis is a rare gift, but it's one that God offers to those who trust Him. It doesn't mean that all the problems disappear overnight, but it does mean you can face them with a sense of calm and purpose. You are not fighting this battle alone. God is with you, working behind the scenes, orchestrating your financial recovery. It might not look how you expected, but His financial miracles are already on their way. In practical terms, faith can be expressed in many ways. It could be as simple as keeping a positive mindset when everything around you screams negativity. Or maybe it's choosing to give, even when you feel you don't have enough. Yes, giving during a financial crisis seems counterintuitive, but it's one of the most powerful expressions of faith. It says to God, "I trust you enough to give, even when I'm in need myself." And God always honors that kind of faith with blessings in return. As you navigate this crisis, keep in mind that your financial freedom might not look like what you imagined. It could come in the form of a new job, an unexpected windfall, or a sudden reduction in debt. But know this, God is working on your behalf, even when you can't see it. His financial blessings are prepared, and they're coming your way. Your role is to keep believing, keep trusting, and keep acting in faith. It's also important to surround yourself with the right people during a financial crisis. Seek out those who will encourage your faith, not feed your fears. There's power in community, especially when it comes to financial struggles. God often uses others to bless us, to provide that word of encouragement, or even that financial help when we need it most. Stay connected to those who remind you of God's goodness, even when times are tough. Faith is easy when life is smooth, but true faith is forged in the fires of adversity. It's during those difficult moments, when everything seems to be going wrong, that faith shows its true power. Whether it's financial struggles, health issues, or emotional pain, adversity has a way of shaking us to our core. But it's also the moment when God's guidance becomes clearest if we allow ourselves to trust Him. The path forward might seem hidden, but God's timing is always perfect. Think about it. Adversity is a test of patience and trust. When you're waiting for a financial breakthrough, it can feel like God's forgotten you. But what if the delay is part of the plan? Sometimes, God allows us to sit in the waiting room of life to build strength, patience, and trust. Faith during adversity doesn't mean pretending everything is okay. It means believing that even in the darkest moments, God is working for our good. In every storm, there's an opportunity to grow. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by adversity, but faith allows us to view challenges differently. Instead of seeing them as setbacks, we begin to see them as setups for something greater. It's like planting a seed in the soil. It looks like nothing is happening at first, but beneath the surface, growth is taking place. In times of adversity, God is growing something in you: patience, strength, and the ability to trust in His timing. Many people have faced financial adversity and come out the other side stronger. They learn to lean on God not just in moments of peace, but in moments of chaos. When you're standing at the edge of uncertainty, unsure of how your bills will get paid, that's when faith steps in. It's trusting that God is working behind the scenes, even if you can't see the results right away. Financial blessings are often delayed for a reason, but when they come, they're perfectly timed. We all have moments when we ask, "Why is this happening to me?" The answer lies in faith. Adversity teaches us that life is unpredictable, but God is not. His plan is always unfolding, even when it seems hidden by clouds of doubt and fear. Faith in adversity isn't about avoiding hardship, it's about trusting that hardship has a purpose. Think about it. Some of the greatest financial successes come from the most difficult struggles. God's timing is rarely ours, but it's always right. Faith also gives us perspective. When you're in the middle of a financial crisis, it's hard to see anything beyond the immediate problem. But faith allows you to zoom out and see the bigger picture. The adversity you're facing today might be preparing you for something incredible tomorrow. It's like looking at a tapestry from the wrong side. All you see are tangled threads. But God sees the beautiful design on the other side, and He's weaving financial blessings into your life, even now. Take a moment to reflect on the adversities you've already overcome. Think about the times when you were certain things wouldn't work out, but then they did. That's faith in action. And that's what God is asking of you now. Trust that He hasn't abandoned you in this moment of financial stress. Just because you can't see the solution yet doesn't mean it's not on its way. Faith isn't about having all the answers. It's about trusting that God does. In the face of adversity, many people turn away from faith, believing that God has forgotten them. But those who hold on, who dig deeper into their faith, discover that adversity is often the birthplace of miracles. Financial blessings, in particular, seem to come at the most unexpected times, and usually after a period of hardship. It's as if God is testing our resilience, asking, "Will you trust me, even when things are tough?" The answer to that question defines how we experience His blessings. We can look at adversity as an enemy, or we can see it as a teacher. It teaches us patience, persistence, and the importance of trusting in God's guidance. Financial struggles, especially, are a lesson in trust. You might be praying for a miracle, but God is teaching you through the wait. He's aligning everything perfectly, so when the financial blessing does arrive, you'll be ready to receive it fully. That's the beauty of faith. It prepares you for the blessings before they come. One practical step during adversity is to reflect on what you've learned so far. Take time to pray and ask God for guidance, not just for relief from the struggle, but for understanding of what He's teaching you through it. Many people find that in the midst of financial struggles, they develop a deeper sense of gratitude for what they already have. Gratitude is a powerful force that invites more blessings into your life, even during times of hardship. Another powerful act of faith during adversity is to help others. It sounds counterintuitive when you're struggling yourself, but there's something transformative about giving to others when you feel like you have little to give. It's a way of saying to God, "I trust you to provide for me, even as I provide for someone else." And often, it's in those moments of selflessness that God moves in our own lives, blessing us financially in ways we didn't expect. The key to maintaining faith during adversity is to remember that this moment is temporary. Your financial struggles, your emotional pain, they are not forever. God's plan is bigger than this moment, and His timing is perfect. It may feel like the adversity will never end, but faith reminds us that it will. And when it does, you'll look back and see how every hardship was leading you toward the blessings that are now flowing into your life. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget about what truly matters, our connection with God. We're always rushing from one thing to the next, whether it's work, family, or financial responsibilities, and somewhere in the middle, we forget to pause and simply be. But that pause is exactly what we need, especially when life feels overwhelming. It's in those quiet moments, when we stop running, that we hear God's voice the clearest. Taking time to connect with God is like recharging your soul. Just as your phone needs to be plugged into function, your spirit needs to connect with God to thrive. It's easy to ignore this when you're in the middle of a financial storm, trying to figure out how to make ends meet. But sometimes, the solution isn't found in frantic activity, it's found in stillness. That's where God speaks to us, where He reminds us that He is in control of every detail, including our financial situation. Imagine for a moment that you've been running a marathon without stopping for water. You might be able to keep going for a while, but eventually, you'll collapse from exhaustion. Life works the same way. We can only push ourselves so far before we need to pause and refresh our spirits. This pause is not just about resting physically, it's about seeking the peace that only God can provide. And in that peace, we find the strength to keep going, knowing that God's financial blessings are on the way. Many people think they don't have time to stop, especially when their financial situation feels urgent. But the truth is, that's when you need to pause the most. Rushing around, trying to solve everything on your own, only leads to more stress. But when you pause, breathe, and invite God into the situation, you give Him room to work. He can provide clarity, ideas, and solutions that you never would have thought of on your own. The pause allows you to align with God's will. Think of the times in your life when you felt the most at peace. Chances are, those moments came when you let go of control and trusted God to handle things. Taking a pause to connect with God is not about doing nothing. It's about actively trusting that God is working on your behalf. Even when the bills are piling up or the job search feels endless, that pause reminds you that God's timing is perfect. His financial miracles are already in motion, even if you can't see them yet. One way to incorporate this pause into your daily routine is through prayer. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out process. Sometimes, a simple prayer in the middle of a busy day can realign your heart with God's peace. When you feel anxiety creeping in, take a moment to pray, "God, I trust you. I know you're handling my financial situation, and I will rest in your peace." This small act of faith can shift your entire perspective. Another powerful way to pause and connect with God is through gratitude. Take a moment each day to thank God for the blessings you already have, even if they seem small. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. And when you focus on the abundance in your life, you invite more blessings in. It's a spiritual law. What you focus on expands. So, even in financial stress, thanking God for the little things can open the door to bigger financial blessings. In the stillness, God often reveals the answers we've been searching for. Maybe you've been struggling to find a solution to a financial problem, feeling like you've tried everything. But have you tried pausing? Have you taken the time to ask God for His wisdom and then waited for His response? Sometimes, the answer is right in front of us, but we're too busy to see it. Pausing allows us to see things from God's perspective, and His perspective always includes hope and solutions. Taking a pause is not just about solving problems, it's about renewing your relationship with God. When we pause to connect with Him, we remember that we are not alone in our struggles. God is walking with us, guiding us, and providing for us, even when we feel overwhelmed. This pause is a reminder that God is the source of our strength, our peace, and yes, even our financial blessings. It's in these moments of connection that we find the faith to keep going. As you continue through your day, try to find small moments to pause and reconnect with God. It might be during your commute, your lunch break, or even while you're preparing dinner. These moments don't have to be long, but they should be intentional. Invite God into the chaos of your daily life, and watch how He brings peace, clarity, and blessings. Even in the busiest seasons, a moment of pause can change everything. When life feels out of control, pausing can feel counterintuitive. We're conditioned to think that if we're not moving, we're not making progress. But God doesn't work that way. Sometimes, the most progress happens in the stillness, when we stop and let God take over. That's when miracles happen, when we step back and allow God's financial blessings to flow into our lives. The pause is not a break from life, it's an invitation for God to take control. So, as you navigate your financial challenges, remember that pausing is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of faith. It's saying, "God, I trust you to handle this." And in that trust, you'll find peace, solutions, and blessings you never thought possible. God's financial miracles are often hidden in the moments when we stop striving and start trusting. Work can often feel like a battlefield, especially when the job is tough or the environment is challenging. Deadlines, difficult coworkers, and the constant pressure to perform can leave you feeling drained. But in these moments, it's important to remember that God's provision is not limited to easy situations. In fact, some of the greatest opportunities for growth come from the most difficult jobs. God places you in these situations not to overwhelm you, but to strengthen you, and to show you that His wisdom and strength are available even in the toughest environments. Think about the story of Joseph in the Bible. He went through incredible trials in his work, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. Yet, through it all, Joseph leaned on God's wisdom. And what happened? He was elevated to a position of power in Egypt, second only to Pharaoh. His story is a powerful reminder that even in the toughest jobs, God is preparing something greater. Your current work struggles are not in vain. They are part of God's plan to elevate you to new heights. When work becomes overwhelming, it's easy to feel like quitting. But what if the struggle you're facing is actually a setup for a blessing? God often uses tough jobs to refine us, to teach us patience, resilience, and reliance on Him. Instead of seeing your job as a burden, try viewing it as an opportunity for growth. Ask God for strength and wisdom to handle the challenges, and trust that He is working behind the scenes to bring you to a place of greater blessings, including financial ones. Every tough job presents unique challenges, but with those challenges come lessons. Whether it's learning how to handle conflict with grace, managing your time more effectively, or developing patience with a difficult boss, each situation is shaping you into a better version of yourself. God's provision is not just about material blessings. It's about equipping you with the skills and character traits you need for future success. And yes, that includes financial blessings that come from doing your job with excellence. One way to navigate a difficult job is to remember that you are never working alone. God is with you in every meeting, every project, and every interaction with coworkers. His wisdom is available to you at all times. When you feel stuck, take a moment to pray and ask God for guidance. You might be surprised by the solutions that come to mind when you invite Him into your work. Whether it's a new approach to a problem or an unexpected opportunity, God's provision often appears when we ask for His help. It's also important to remember that tough jobs can be temporary stepping stones to something better. Just because you're in a challenging situation now doesn't mean you'll be there forever. God has a plan for your work life, and sometimes that plan involves learning certain lessons before moving on to the next stage. The patience and strength you develop in tough jobs will serve you well in the future, especially when God opens the door to a better position, complete with financial blessings. Many people have experienced breakthroughs in their careers after enduring a tough job. They look back and realize that the challenges they faced prepared them for the next big opportunity. This could be your story too. The financial blessings you're waiting for might be just around the corner, and the current job you're struggling with could be the final preparation for receiving those blessings. God's provision is often hidden in the struggles, but it's always there, shaping you for something greater. God's provision is not limited to giving us what we want in the moment. It's about giving us what we need to fulfill His greater plan for our lives. Sometimes, that means enduring a tough job for a season, knowing that something better is on the horizon. Trust that God's timing is perfect, and that He is using this job to prepare you for the financial blessings that are coming. You may not see the full picture yet, but rest assured, God's plan is in motion, and it includes prosperity and success for you. One of the most powerful ways to make an impact is by sharing a message that resonates deeply with your heart. When something has touched your soul, like a word of hope, faith, or financial blessings, it's natural to want others to experience that same transformation. Sharing the message isn't just about passing on information. It's about planting seeds of faith, hope, and encouragement in the lives of others. Every time you share, you are extending the reach of God's blessings. Think of the people in your life who could benefit from this message of hope and transformation. It could be a friend struggling with financial stress, a family member searching for purpose, or even a coworker dealing with personal adversity. By sharing this message, you're offering them a chance to experience the same divine intervention and blessings that you've received. It's more than just a video. It's an invitation to see how God can work in their lives, too. We all know someone who is going through a tough time. Maybe they're facing financial struggles, emotional pain, or uncertainty about their future. Sharing this message can be the lifeline they need. It can remind them that God's love is real, that His blessings are already in motion, and that they are not alone in their journey. Sometimes, all it takes is one encouraging word to change the course of someone's life. You have the power to deliver that word. When you share a message of hope, you're participating in something much bigger than yourself. You're helping to spread God's light in a world that can often feel dark and overwhelming. The financial blessings, the peace, the strength that you've received, these are things that others desperately need as well. By sharing, you become a conduit for God's love and His miraculous works. You're not just passing along a video, you're helping to transform lives. Think about how many people are searching for answers right now. They're looking for financial breakthroughs, peace of mind, and reassurance that things will get better. By sharing this message, you're offering them a glimpse of the truth, that God is always working, even when we can't see it. You're giving them the chance to experience the same transformation that you've been blessed with. It's a gift that can keep on giving, long after you've hit the share button. There's something incredibly rewarding about seeing someone else receive the blessing that you've already experienced. It's like watching a seed that you've planted grow into a beautiful tree. By sharing this message, you're planting seeds of hope, faith, and financial blessings in the lives of others. You may never know the full impact of your actions, but God does. He sees every effort you make to spread His message of love and transformation. We are all called to be messengers of God's love and grace. Sharing this video is just one way to fulfill that calling. It's an easy step, but it can have profound effects. Imagine the ripple effect of one shared message. One person is touched, they share it with someone else, and before you know it, God's message of hope has reached hundreds, even thousands of people. You're playing a key role in spreading God's financial blessings to a world that desperately needs them.